Hey there, welcome back. So, as I said before, this is just a update of ownership of the Eagle Vision camera mobile phone mounting kit. I thought I'd make this video because I've seen a couple of posts over the last few days of people saying, I've done this, done that, DIY knock-ups and stuff like that. And I thought, well, you know what, you're probably going to get to the same stage as me when you realise that out in the field, they don't really work that well. They just don't, they break. You're having to constantly move them around to get into focus. And when it does get into focus, you most likely miss your shots because then you've got to adjust the camera settings accordingly for that particular shot. So the other point as well is that you spend, if you're like me, a lot of money on your kit, on your rifles, especially air rifles these days, PCPs. I've got HW100 for instance. KT laminate, it's the best part of 850 quid plus the scope, which I've now got as a sidewinder on there. So we're talking like, the best part of 1200 quid, upwards. And you guys might have those day states out there, crazy prices, etc. And some people are happy to knock up £5-10 bits of kit to attach their £500 to £1,000 iPhone or Samsung or whatever it might be. It's crazy because I dropped my phone out in the field. It wasn't a pleasant experience because it actually got lodged all mud and stuff like that up into the mics and etc. And so that sort of paved the way to meeting up with Masood at the British shooting show back in 17, so not one just gone, one before, and seeing this kit instantly sold. Okay, it is the best and well-made camera mounting system out there, in my opinion. I've seen other ones, G-Line, all this sort of stuff, which was vastly more expensive and bits and pieces in the States, etc., which are still quite plasticky overall. And not only that, you can get hold of Masood anytime on Facebook, ask him any questions. He hasn't got any of the adapters or rings that you see on his website. He can most likely design or knock you one up, or during his research of providing these particular adapters and rings, point your direction where those sizes of those particular ones could be found and purchased. So customer service is fantastic on that front. That being said, I didn't go down the universal phone holder route, which he bought out at the time, because I sourced these particular ABS kits here, or phone cases, which have a 17mm adapter on the back, which Masood sells a 17mm adapter, and it goes on the back here. And then that particular one, it will actually screw onto any of these ends on these cylinders here, and then into the back of your phone. And I cut that into later. So, what the great thing about this kit is you don't have to buy it all at the same time. And it was 50 odd quid for these 3 cylinders you see in front of you. 4 nylon black screws and 4 alloy ones, and I use these ones just because they're black and they're shiny. And but straight away, it's unbelievable. Now the only things on top of that I got were the 17mm adapter at the time, MPH1. And it's got the 17mm, as I said there, and that will actually attach to these phone cases. This is an iPhone 6 case. A lot of people use them for like fisheye lenses and stuff like that. As you can see, just screws into the back of that. Obviously your phone's in there, and then you can pop your case. So you can see here, it just screws in the back there. And I've got some other footage that I'll show you of installing it. So you can imagine now, that's on the back of your scope. This part here connects to the actual eye relief itself, and there you go, that's it. But this particular case here was a few quid. I think it was about £6. I got 2 of them, and if you do use the Eagle Vision kit and you're watching this, then if you've got an iPhone 6, let me know and I'll send you one of these because I don't need them anymore because I'm upgraded because I've got the iPhone 8. And I have it with the particular same company nearly 2 years later, still in business, and this was the iPhone 7, iPhone 8, exactly the same case. But if you've got Samsungs, all that sort of stuff, and you can't find those particular type of cases, then Masood brought out a universal phone holder with magnets and all sorts of stuff that will allow you to fit pretty much any phone to it. So check that out. But coming back to the actual kit itself, Versatility, I use it for night vision. This particular small tube here, I bought this particular ring, which is the SHR38, and that fits the Nitesite camera perfectly inside there. That goes straight into the back of the scope, and there's no messing about in regards to the rubber tubes which you get in the Nitesite kits. So brilliant for that, and it also fits other Nitesite kits, night vision kits as well. So well worth checking out if you want to just get the tube that'll fit in the back of your scope. Because alongside that, when I upgraded my scope, I got the sidewinder and the eye relief, which is threaded, matches that thread perfectly. And this particular part then just goes straight into the back, and away you go. And it just sits in there, and either your phone comes and screws onto into that, or you've got your camera system. So again, just versatility, everything's well made. It'll outlast pretty much anything. I've had it in all sorts of weathers, to be honest. So what I've done is basically built up the kit as I've gone along, in different scopes, different setups of what I've needed, which you can't do with DIY kits. And I've got this particular adapter here because I had another scope which wasn't threaded, and this allows it to centralise on the back of the scope very easily instead of having to use the nylon screws on the eye relief. Again, great bit of kit, needed it for that setup and worked perfectly. And it's funny, when you're out in the field, you pay your money, you get what you get, and you go out in the field, you put it on, there's nothing's gone wrong, there's no faffing about, and suddenly that's just value for money. And it doesn't interrupt your evening, especially at night when you're using this types of kit. And the last thing you need is be faffing about screwing up little bits and screws, this, that and the other, or dropping on the floor, etc. So just bear in mind, if you're looking at getting some good footage and using your iPhones and your Samsungs, etc., that they are expensive, and the kit you use is expensive, and therefore it needs to be looked after, and you need to use the proper kit. Scope mounts, probably a lot of you guys use Sports Match like I do. They're not the cheapest, but we all know that they're machined well and made here in Britain, and you get your value for money, and that's what this kit does. So just bear that in mind if you're going down the DIY route, because I guarantee you, like I did, you'll make 3 or 4. I made 6 in the end, different versions, before I thought, well, this is it, I'm not doing it anymore. And went to the show and got this kit, and the last few months I built it up, and it's been fantastic. You can see some of the footage on my site. I've got other videos that I haven't put up yet, which will explain about how you use the camera on your iPhone, and also KindMaster, which is another app I found to get the best out of the lighting, conditioners, brightness, shutter, and all that sort of stuff. So if you like this video, like and subscribe. If you've got any questions, let me know, and I hope it's been of help. Cheers guys, bye.